was basically useless. I was like a vegetable already. COVID was just easing up. Singapore just opened, and so we decided to airlift me here.
So Tracy, at 35 years old, suffered from a massive stroke. So when she first came to the hospital in Singapore, she was paralyzed on her right side. Her left arm was very weak and unsteady. She needed a feeding tube because she couldn't swallow and she could hardly speak. And she needed a urinary pipe to help her clear her urine as well. So you can imagine how frightening that would have been for any 35 years old, let alone Tracy, somebody who's highly qualified. She's a lawyer, a bookstore owner, okay? And for somebody so intellectual and so intelligent, I think that must have felt like the end of the world for her.
So in 2 days, I was out of the ICU, and then Huiyon worked on me for the swallowing because I had an NGT on.
I explored all kinds of techniques and strategies that, whether it is from the book or developed over the course of my career, with the determination to help Tracy to regain her ability to swallow again.
The first part took about 6 weeks, maybe. Yeah, 6 weeks, 2 months maybe. And then once I was discharged, that's when I was under Siva's care. So I had to learn how to walk and balance on my own, really. Edward also worked with me on standing because I couldn't sit nor stand. And that's when all the functions slowly came back.
Tracy's condition was indeed a challenging situation where we had to get to tone normalization, as what we call it, is to relax the muscles in order to get the activity of those muscles as well, that is the leg, the right leg. And we did some specific exercises to increase her weight bearing of the weak leg, and some stepping exercises and walking exercises, which we call gait training or gait re-education. And one of the important thing, which was also a challenging thing for us, was that her foot was weaker. So we had to use some gadget which is called as a functional electrical stimulator in order to get the clearance of the feet while walking.
So now that's what I'm still doing, learning how to walk, and then learning how to speak better, and learning how to do the everyday things again, like how to write again with my right hand.
So in Tracy's case, she doesn't have any function because of very poor movement in the affected right arm. So she's not able to write, she's not able to hold on to things with her right hand. So a lot of it was to learn how to do things using her left to compensate in the meanwhile. But by the end of 6 months, with all the intensive rehab and all the practices that she has done, she's able to actually use the fingers, use the hand to write, and there were movements in the fingers coming in. So that was a great improvement.
Well, my hope is really I recover all my functions, but I accept the fact that it will never be the same as before. So I think the most important thing is not just to recover my function, but to learn how to live differently, not the same as before. I mean, my life before and after is vastly different. It's more meaningful now, definitely. I learned that you think you cannot do things, but you can actually do things.
Learning behavior is very important in rehabilitation, which was one of the biggest plus points of Tracy.
What struck me most about Tracy was her resilience. She's somebody who giving up is just not in her dictionary.
Well, Tracy is actually a very smart lady, and she knows what she wants. So she came in very motivated, very determined, and so that is one thing that really stood out because it helps us, just keep pacing and keep progressing.
Not only did Tracy wrote a book with her left hand, this book is so painstakingly written with a lot of determination and effort. So all my patients who come to my clinic, I would say, you've got to read this book. Okay, this is written by my patient. She's from Philippines. At 35 years old, she suffered a stroke. Highly recommended reading for anybody who suffers from stroke or who cares about somebody in the family with a stroke. She learned to paint with her left hand, her non-dominant hand, and she painted this very, very beautiful ice cream because she knows that I love ice cream. When she presented this to me, she wrote in a short note and said, "Dear Dr. Lee, sorry for the short note. I wrote it with my right." And this is about 1.5 years on from the time of her stroke. I think this is very, very humbling, and this goes to show that that spirit in her is so, so strong.